Welcome back. Now we're here with Mike Bradshaw, Executive Director of CoLab. And CoLab is one of those interesting organizations. If you've ever interacted with it, you know exactly what it does, but it's a little bit complicated. So Mike, can you tell us, in terms that people who haven't experienced it will understand, what CoLab does?
CoLab's the front door for entrepreneurs in Chattanooga. We invite people with business ideas to come and explore the possibilities of those ideas and provide the help that they need. Tremendous community of support that we have, so we'll connect them with mentors who have industry expertise, market access, specialized technical knowledge that can help them get on their way.
Do you have maybe just one quick example story that kind of paints that picture? Someone walked in the door with an idea and maybe not a whole lot of the other resources, and how you helped them get going.
I can't take personal credit for this, but it's a story of the moment. It's a really wonderful story. We had an event called 48-Hour Launch. We just had our fifth one this past month. And this company that started there called QuickQ came in with a back of the envelope idea, a little bit of work behind it, not much. They came in for a weekend, just a really intensive weekend of designing their business and going out and seeing if they could land a first customer, right? And sure enough, they did that. And 3 years later, they just sold the company for $11.5 million. $3.3 million was invested into it along the way. Tremendous success story. The CEO of that company has come back to CoLab and is starting their next venture now.
Absolutely. And they employ about 20 people, right?
They do, and they were bought by a publicly traded company who's made a commitment to keep the teams here in Chattanooga and to grow the business from here.
I heard that the other day, and they were listing the cities they're in, and it was like London, Paris, and Chattanooga.
I know, what a great group to be included in.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they invested some money. I thought you were going to tell me they had a weekend of work and made $11 million, and I was going to come down for a weekend.
That's right, it's a pretty good hourly wage.
That's pretty good. Well, and now tell us about some of the other things that you work on at CoLab. You've got the GIGTANK and lots of events to help generate ideas.
Yes, I mentioned 48-Hour Launch. We also do Will This Float, which is a great evening of very early stage startups coming in and giving a presentation. But Ron, you mentioned GIGTANK. We're now counting down the days to it. We're within a couple of weeks of that starting. We'll have 11 teams coming from around the country and with very deep representation from the region, from Huntsville, Alabama, Georgia Tech, Knoxville, and right here in Chattanooga. We've got a team from the University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, participating this year. These teams will come in and join a program where they're very early stage startups, but they've got great prospects. They're generally tech-enabled, high-growth prospect companies. And we'll work with them over the course of the next 3 months and put them in a position where it's a very robust angel network. That's a network of investors who will generally make the very first investments that a new company will get. They'll have an opportunity to present in front of them and in front of investors that come from all over the country to see what we're doing. And hopefully get that first investment that will take them on their way.
One of the really interesting things about the program this year is that you've kind of narrowed it down to some specific segments. We don't have a whole lot of time, and this is a big topic, but as I understand, it's 3D printing, smart grid, and healthcare.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about why those markets and why they make sense for Chattanooga in particular?
Yes, it is a big story for just a little bit of time. And if on July 29th, we're doing our demo day. This is when the public can come and see the results of the people that are innovating along those 3 tracks. We're going to display what they've accomplished over the course of the summer. It'll be a girls' preparatory school. We chose these 3 tracks because, one, there's a vast amount of knowledge in this town around manufacturing. And when people say 3D printing, they generally think of some plastic toys and so on, but it's actually a serious industrial tool that's captured the imagination of highly innovative, creative people over the last few years. I think people have started to become exposed to it. And so it represents one of the great entrepreneurial opportunities of our age and a chance to marry our legacy as a manufacturing town with its present and future as a digitally driven, really wonderful place to start a business.
And unfortunately, we do have to wrap, but of course, we also have some comparable strengths in Smart Grid with EPB and what they've done, which is a nationally important story, as well as healthcare, which everyone's well aware of. Well, Mike, I'm sorry we didn't have more time to talk today. It's a great story, and I'm sure we'll have you back soon.
Thanks.
Please join us again after this.